The Neve preamp has got to be the most famous, most legendary, you name it, vintage preamp of all time. And what I'm going to talk about today is what's inside. So I've got a Golden Age Pre-73, and I'm going to walk through the circuit. I've already got the lid off, and we're just going to go part by part and talk about what's in it and what does it do. Okay, so we got the preamp here. Let's just kind of do some quick orientation from the outside. So on the back, we have our inputs, line, mic, insert, and then our outputs here. Sorry, it's a little messed up. XLR, TRS. Really nice complement of inputs and outputs here. Not quite sure why you'd want a combo mic jack, but who knows. And then we've got power coming in on a barrel connector there. And then on the front, kind of standard 1073 controls. We've got a power switch, another instrument input here, which is nice. DI, phantom power, impedance control, Z means impedance, FYI. And then Neve's kind of distinctive eccentric volume control here with the line to indicate unity gain, and then gain settings to the right, attenuation to, not to the right, clockwise, and then attenuation counterclockwise, and then an output trim so you can drive the output hard and then attenuate, and then phase over here, polarity rather, for some reason, and clip up here. Got a nice little meter. So now that we're oriented, let's take a look at the guts. So let's start with power. So we come in, because this is a budget preamp, we come in on a barrel connector, and it's actually an AC barrel connector. So we have to do the rectifying to DC in here. So that's what these. This looks like a bridge rectifier here, or maybe it's these discrete diodes. I'm not sure, but basically there's some sort of bridge rectifier that changes that AC into DC. And then these caps provide kind of reservoir, so spare power if something needs current really quickly. They also do filtering to reduce the noise of the power supply. And then we get to regulators. So Neve preamps, well, all the kind of 70s Neve circuits ran on plus 24 volts. So we should see, yep, here it is. We see a little 24 volt header going to the main board, and then of course, since it's a preamp, there will be a phantom power, and that's this 48 volt header here. So that's the power supply section. Nothing too surprising or interesting there, but boy is it about to get weird. So Neve preamps are just such a one-of-a-kind, they're just really their own beast, and so that's what we're going to see here. Let's start with what's kind of normal about them, and then I'll get into what's unique. So normal is input transformers, output transformer. These are what take in the balanced signal here with the inputs and gives out the balanced output on the output. So somebody asked me a really great question on Instagram the other day, which is, in balanced audio gear, does the signal stay balanced the whole time through the unit, or does it get unbalanced at the input and then everything is unbalanced inside and then balanced again at the output? And the answer is the latter. In 99% of cases, what all you're looking at in the audio path, except for the very input and the very output, is unbalanced or single-ended. And that's just because, well, first you'd have to duplicate everything to do it balanced. You'd have to have one signal path for the hot and one for the cold, and also any nonlinearities that you introduced in the audio path wouldn't be common mode, so they wouldn't be canceled out, which is kind of the point of balanced input and output. So just thought I'd address that question. So we have a mic input transformer and a line input transformer, and then we get into the preamp stage. So this looks like a lot of parts, and it is a fair amount of parts. But the Neve preamps, and when we're talking about Neve preamps, most of the time we're talking about this circuit, which was in the 1073. It was also in the 1272. It was the basic circuit of their 80 series consoles in the 1970s. And the distinguishing characteristics of this circuit is that it's Class A, it's totally discrete, and it's based on very few transistors, actually. So the circuit had two parts. An input stage, which we would call the preamp. I know this whole thing is the preamp, but even within the circuit there's a preamp stage and then an amp stage. So this preamp stage is just 3 transistors. So you can see here there are 6 transistors, are these little black kind of ones with a rounded side. And you should count 6 there on this kind of from here down. And I don't know exactly what's going on in here. I don't have the schematic. I don't know this circuit. I'm looking at it at the same time you are, but I can kind of read it. I can look at it and kind of read that this is the preamp section. And the preamp amplifier, the preamplifier, is only 3 transistors. It's incredible. And there are 2 of them. And one output amp section, which is this one here, which is just 3 more transistors. So let me see, 1, 2, and then this, yes, this is a transistor. It's just 10 times bigger than all the other ones, and it gets its own cage here because it's so powerful. It's like a super, it's like the Hannibal Lecter of transistors. It's got no, that doesn't work at all. But it is in a cage, and it likes fava beans and a nice Chianti. But this is the output kind of power transistor that provides the current to send the signal to the outside world, as we call it. This is all the inside world, and then the outside world is whatever it's going to be going out to. So let's say we're a mic signal here. We're coming into the mic transformer here to get unbalanced. And then we go to the preamp stage. And the way that the gain switch works, and now we're getting into weird stuff. Well, it's already gotten a little bit weird, but now is where the Neve preamp gets quite unique, because the way that the gain switch works on a Neve preamp isn't like your typical preamp volume control. Usually you just have a pot or a potentiometer, which is what this is, and where you just have it's basically 2 resistors, and as you turn it, one gets bigger, the other gets smaller in proportion to each other. And that's not what we have here. We have this switch that does actually some pretty complex switching. For example, at lower gain, you're only using this first preamp stage, and then at higher gain, the second one kicks in. I believe the third one is always engaged for current gain. But yeah, so that's kind of why Neve preamps are part of why they're difficult to make really well, and they never can be as cheap as other things, is because they require this huge honking multi-pole switch, and these things are just not cheap to make well. So we're our mic signal, we're going into the preamp, we're getting involved in all this complicated routing, and then we go to this output stage. So you heard me mention current gain a minute ago. What we generally are talking about with preamp and output amplifier stages is that the preamp stage is there to do voltage gain. And roughly speaking, in analog audio, voltage is volume or amplitude. So the preamp stage does the volume increase, but then you can't just have voltage with no current, because then you don't have enough power to drive the next stage in the outside world. So this next stage is our current gain, and that's what gives us the current to kind of, it's like the rocket fuel that allows us to push our voltage at that higher volume into the next stage. So you can just think of it that way. It's the same in guitar amps. You often hear about the preamp tube and the power tube or the output tube, exactly like this. You have voltage gain, aka volume first. This is the more delicate stage. This is where most of the tone comes from usually. And then the output stage, which is kind of the muscle. It's there to provide the booster for the voltage to get into the next device. And in this case, it's also going through this big transformer, which requires a bit of power on its own just to get a nice clean signal through there. So that's a basic, I know that's very macro, but that's a basic walkthrough of the kind of the topology. But what makes this special? Why are Neve preamps so coveted, so legendary? It really comes down to the choice of parts, because there are so few components in here. I know it doesn't look like that few, but there are, what did we say, 9 transistors in this entire circuit. Your typical op-amp, in fact, there's one right here. This is an IC. I'm sure this is not in the audio circuit, it's just here to drive this meter. But your typical IC op-amp like that has at least 25 transistors. So you can imagine this whole thing is significantly less complex than a single chip. And most preamps that you'll find now have, 5 chips to 10, many chips. So this is actually a very primitive, not primitive, it's very clever, it's very ingenious, very smartly designed, but it's very simple. And when things are very simple, every part matters a lot, especially the transistors, because the transistors are in class A, which means they're working all the time, they're not sharing the load between each other. And they're working kind of on the borderline of their linear range, meaning most parts, especially transistors, are spec'd for a certain distortion and noise spec when they're operated in a certain range. These are kind of pushing that. Once you get beyond that range is when things get fuzzy and Neve, and that's what's going on here. So it's very, very critical that you choose the right transistors. So that's really where the art and labor of replicating a Neve circuit comes in. Same with the transformers, very, very critical. And from a user experience perspective, how good this switch is, and the rest of the switches are very important. So that is kind of what makes or breaks a Neve preamp. And also kind of what makes them so magic and special is it's just a few really particular parts doing their thing. And for some reason we in the audio world have just fallen in love with that thing that they do. So there you have it. There's the Neve circuit. If you've made it this far in the video, I hate to break it to you, but you are a nerd, and thank you for following along. If this kind of stuff is interesting to you, check out our website, DIYrecordingequipment.com. We make audio kits so you can build your own stuff and do more of this kind of, well, the opposite of a teardown. You can do a build up. So thanks for tuning in. I'm really excited about doing these kind of teardowns. The last one got a great response. This is really fun. I would love to hear comments, requests of things you would like to see with the lid off and a little bit of a walkthrough like this. So thanks for tuning in.